In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, Dr. Saad al-Barrak, Ms. Poonam Chawla, Mr. Pedro Oliveira, Dr. Saadi Trad, Mr. Roger Field, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to first of all thank Blumenberg and Oliver Wyman for giving me this opportunity, not only as a keynote speaker, but a speaker at an audience that have reached the pinnacle of their careers with a wealth of experience and knowledge. An example of that is Dr. Saad in front of you. So thank you, Bloomberg, thank you, Oliver Wyman. The theme of this symposium is the Internet of Things, driving Kuwait's digital future, unleashing Kuwait's potential hub for IoT. Let me start with the regional oil-dependent economies of the GCC and their different efforts to find non-oil related revenue streams, especially after witnessing major volatilities of the prices per barrel, with and most of the time without any economic reasoning behind the fluctuation in prices. The Kuwaiti effort started with His Highness the Emir's vision to transform Kuwait into a financial and business center, which gave birth to the development of a plan called New Kuwait 2035. New Kuwait 2035's main vision revolves around the improvement of Kuwait's ranking in the different types of indexes, two of whom which are related to the Kuwait Ports Authority, and that are the Port Infrastructure Index and the Logistics Performance Index. The improvement of the country's indexes would collectively move our economy in an upward direction, attract foreign investments, ease of doing business, employ and enhance the local workforce, and diversify alternative sources of national income. Now, for us to do that efficiently, we need to transform and digitalize our impotent government system. And the best way to do that is by applying the Internet of Things for each and every government service and or transaction. This effort should be done collectively by having different government agencies collaborating to allow the whole system to work efficiently. To give such an example, to allow Kuwait Ports Authority to implement its smart port system, it requires the cooperation of at least 14 government agencies, all with their different port-related services, to be fully digitalized, then integrated into the so-called port community system. It sounds simple, but it is so complex that no government agency should fall behind, and no government agency at the same time should fail. And not only that, the same employed workforce that carry the same job positions and the same job titles have to change their job descriptions. This is because they will be doing different online tasks using the industry-specific software that would allow them to do the same job they did using paper, and thus those same positions need to be redesigned, the staff to be retrained, the job manuals to be enhanced, and thus digitalizing all the workforce. For example, in conventional ports, if you want to employ a ship-to-shore crane operator, you would want to have, a job announcement with people probably experienced in their mid-30s, having a proper crane license, and then with a 2 months course, this person would be transferred from a crane license operator to a ship-to-shore crane operator. Now, that same job in a smart port, the announcement will be a person in his mid-20s, and that is an excellent player of PlayStation. And it is true. Professional and literate in small smart devices, and imagine that is just one job out of many port-related jobs that have to be changed today. The different types of equipment all have to be smart, all have to be connected to the system, and all of those equipment contain different types of sensors. Those sensors, each with its own functionality, all with its specific software that allows us to understand each type of equipment. For example, smart buoys, the ones that float in the sea. Currently, or in the past, all they do is just direct boats. Today, those smart buoys have sensors that detect waves, high and low tides, inbound and outbound ships, all of which that submit data which enable us to track, compare, analyze, monitor those different functionalities that feed into the C4 control room. The smart gate systems, smart vehicle tracking systems on trucks, smart vessel tracking systems, smart weather monitoring systems, smart maps, smart logistics, smart management, traffic management systems, smart container terminal handling systems, smart, and more smart. Just imagine how the port industry specific smart port system has become so advanced and so technological that it already impacted our recruitment, in which for the first time in the KPA, we require more software, IT, and communications engineers than civil, mechanical, and electrical engineers. This system not only interconnects different equipment, but also interconnects the customers, that are the government agencies, ship agents and operators, importers and exporters, as well as other ports that can exchange vital information on vessel, destinations, container, and general cargo tracking, etc. Just wait until the port industry players start even implementing artificial intelligence, blockchain, along with the cloud computing that is already being implemented. That in one hand. On the other hand, the swift operation of the smart port system requires a swift administration operation as well, and thus ISO quality control, Six Sigma, Kaizen, all those methods of flawless administration techniques need to be implemented as well. The question is, will we in Kuwait, specifically in the Kuwait Port Authority, implementing all of that? My answer is yes. And as the Director General of the KPA, I already initiated an effort called Sabah 2020, or Fixing 2020. But you know what? That was too negative. So by today, I will be changing it to Tatweer 2020, or Development 2020, which by 2020, all the administrative systems in the KPA and related manuals will be in place to absorb the smart port system when it is implemented. The KPA already issued a pre-qualification announcement for a turnkey smart port system that will include all the functionalities mentioned and more. This in parallel with all the recruiting we are doing, recruiting smart Kuwaiti nationals to operate the whole system. We will directly recruit staff, by the same time train at least 14 other government agencies that will share the C4 control room with us. And in conclusion, New Kuwait 2035 is going to be digitalized, smart, and using not only the Internet of Things, but the Internet of everything. Thank you very much. Actually, I don't know how to use this gadget. I would like to just explain those slides. Anyone that can help me? Okay. I think I pressed the wrong button while I was talking. Okay. My dream as a Director General is not only to sit in the office and sign some papers. My dream one day, and that is on its way, hopefully, is to control the whole ports using a console or a touchpad. Okay. If we look at the first screen, we can see the smart port system and the Internet of Things that is related around the smart port system. It includes 5 important functionalities. If you can see the C4, which is the center. This is the command, control, communications, and computers. This is the room that will operate everything. We have the data analytics, the port community system, the customers, and the cloud, all together creating the Internet of Things for the smart port system. If we go next, please. In data analytics, you can see that there's a circulation because data analytics never stops. We get different raw data that needs to be disseminated, analyzed, and thus creating KPIs, optimal efficiency, and swift operation. And that changes by time. In the first screen, as you saw 5 major issues, but maybe in the future we would include more equipment, more technologies, artificial intelligence. It will be the 6th. We might include blockchain. It will be the 7th, and so forth. Next, please. If you look at the command and control system or the C4 system, it's going to include everything directly related: the logistics cities, the stevedores, the control tower, smart gate system, container terminals, the manifest, the 3 ports operations. All will be operated not only by the KPA, but by 14 other agencies, including the Customs Clearance, the Ministry of Interior, the Public Authority for Environment, and others. Any one of those other government agencies can be a bottleneck to the Kuwait Port Authority. We had several issues with other related government agencies. One of them had a person embedded within the customs. All he had to do is go for a lunch break. And that stopped 300 containers on back of 300 trucks to leave the port in Shu'aibah. On that day, it was a nightmare. We don't want that to happen again. Using digitalization, the Internet of Things, all of that will change. Next, please. Of course, everything will start and end with the customers because they are the essence. It is so important for the ports to enhance the customer-based services. Who are our customers, as you can see? Government agencies, importers, exporters, and ship agencies. At the same time, all of them will have the feedback of data with our port community system. That port community system today has an association, an international association of port community systems ports. That port community system today in all the different countries in the world is money making. At the same time, it provides a complete service for all the government agencies. It came to a point where certain government agencies have left their own portal because the port community system was more than enough. And we can see that today in ports like Hamburg, Rotterdam, Antwerp, is where one platform is for the whole, city's economy. Anything you need goes through that portal. Next. Going back to that system, this is where we're going to start. And we're so happy that we have already issued the pre-qualification. The closing is going to be on the 8th of December, next week. But what is so important is that in our pre-qualification meeting, I saw the top 20 industry players. And that, of course, is comforting. Before the new Kuwait plan, there were so many tenders being cancelled, so many projects being delayed. What did that conclude? It concluded that the major players started, disliking Kuwait in some way, not wanting to come and participate, not wanting to come and spend money to present, to provide, to give what they have in terms of their latest technologies. Today we see the opposite. Today we see all the industry players coming, willing, wanting to come because they can see that other government agencies are actually implementing their 2035 plan. I would like to thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you Blumeberg again, and thank you Oliver Wyman. Thank you.